The Honourable Rick Collis.
Thank you, Madam Deputy President. Madam Deputy President, I rise this afternoon to advise the House of a very special initiative by three extraordinary women from Western New South Wales. In March this year, a regional manager for New South Wales farmers, Emily Collis, and her mother Cathy, were contemplating the well-known problem of children from all backgrounds and locations not having a full and thorough understanding of where the food presented to them each day actually comes from. This issue compounds itself in urban areas, with children growing up in urbanised areas not normally having ready access to food and fibre producing farms, and they often develop to quite a mature age believing their food comes from a supermarket. As recently as 2 generations ago, virtually all people living in the major metropolitan areas had either family or friends that lived in rural areas and either owned a farm or worked in the rural industry in one capacity or another. During my childhood on the farm, we very often had cousins or friends from the city come and stay with us during the holiday seasons, and it was not like a holiday at the beach. Visitors were expected to participate in whatever activities were happening on the farm at the time, whether it was drenching the sheep, marking the calves, stick picking the new cultivation paddock, bringing in the firewood for the fuel stove, or preparing the woolshed for shearing. Our visitors loved the experience, and they were always willing to come again next holidays. Those experiences are enjoyed by a diminishing number of urbanised children today, as the number of people living and working in rural areas declines, and with the population becoming more urbanised and less likely to have relatives or to know people in rural areas. Kids today are finding it more difficult to learn about the source of their food. Emily and Cathy have written a children's book with illustrations by Deb Murray to teach young children about where their food actually comes from. Yum Yum, Where Does It Come From? Was created following media reports of children not understanding where their food comes from. Emily, Cathy and Deb saw a need to educate the children. They believed they could play a considerable role, and they further believed that they had a responsibility to do so. Emily and Cathy come from Cumberchance, east of Walgett, while Deb lives west of Walgett. All three women are actively involved in farming businesses, producing beef, lambs, wool and a variety of grain crops, with Emily in her professional position with New South Wales farmers, working with rural people around the Western Division to ensure that their concerns are heard by the decision makers. I was honoured to be invited to attend the launch of Yum Yum, Where Does It Come From? At the Collis family property, Fernley, Cumberchance, on the evening of Friday the 12th of October just past. Following a welcome and introduction by Emily's father Rob, the manager of Rabar Bank in Dubbo, Mr Peter Anderson, formally launched the book in the company of some 60 family, friends and members of the local community. The book is written with a rhyming style and is targeting the late preschool and early school-age children, and is attractively illustrated to reflect the rhyme. For example, the first page of the book says milk in a glass and cheese between bread, yoghurt for snacks when first out of bed, spaghetti bolognese, sausages and steak, all come from a cow, isn't she great? And the opposing page to this rhyme shows low hills with grassy plains and illustrations of a variety of beef and dairy breeds, allowing the reader to explain to young children the difference between cattle that produce milk and cheese and cattle that produce sausages and steak. This same theme continues through 7 pages of the book, with the 8th page highlighting the importance of fresh and natural foods for our health and well-being, and the 9th page thanking our farmers for the healthy and wholesome foods they create, and the fact that the farmers do care for their land and their animals, making sure that fresh food is always available to us. And finally, on page 10, a philosophical statement about how Australia's land must be nurtured, repaired and restored, and that the farmers of Australia do this. I'm sure that all members of this House will join with me in offering my sincerest congratulations to Emily, Cathy and Deb on this magnificent publication, and suggest that all members obtain a copy of this book to read to their children, their nephews and nieces or their grandchildren, as we all work towards raising the awareness in the youngest generation of where our food actually comes from. And the book is available from Emily at emilycollis@bigpond.com. Thank you.